Good afternoon and welcome to Ogun State Television News at noon. I am Adibola Oshomuji. Quality education, which is one of the mandates of the present administration in Ogun State, will continue to be given necessary and adequate attention. Stakeholders in the state education sector reaffirmed this while visiting community primary school in Lukpeju, Ojaodon in Yewa North local government area, following the recent report by the media on the deplorable learning condition of the school. Elizabeth Esson reports.
The foundation of a block of free classrooms has been laid in community primary school Lukpeju, Ojaodon. This followed the directive of Governor Dapo Abiodun to provide adequate learning infrastructure in the school. It will be recalled that a report by the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC Pidgin, went viral on the deplorable learning condition of pupils of the community primary school in Lukpeju, Ojaodon, who since 2015 have been learning under a bamboo shed. Following this unfavorable situation, mandated stakeholders in the state's education sector to address the situation accordingly and quickly too. Chairman, Ogun State Universal Basic Education, Dr. Femi Majekodumi, confirmed the stand of the state government concerning the school and other schools that fall in this category across the state.
Greatly. Can you imagine? 900 projects at a go. It shows the extent of terrible situation with our educational institutions before the advent of this very government. You know, you can't have it better anywhere in this country. 900 projects for the government to come in, you know. It's a reflection of how bad the situation was, and that's what it's doing. And the Fire Brigade approach we deliberately put in is to assure the community, the good people of Ogun State, that Dr. Abiodun's government means well.
Special advisor to the governor on primary and secondary education, Mrs. Ronke Shoyombo, confirmed numbers of schools earmarked by the state government for intervention in Yewa axis of the state.
Government, we have met quite a lot of schools in that condition. And since we came, you will see that governor has been doing a lot. I mean, for a governor to have actually done over 900 schools for renovation and construction of schools, it speaks volume. So what I just want to say at this stage is because we've earmarked every school in different stages. So quite a lot of schools that were yet to touch will be coming under the second group. So under the second intervention. So people can only be very much at peace with us.
On his part, Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, has this to say on the media reports.
What happened, everybody can see that it is not the fault of this administration. But notwithstanding, we have taken the bull by the horn, and I want to assure all and sundry that this administration meant what it actually said by declaring emergency in the education sector. It's going to be total rejuvenation, total revitalization of the education sector. I want to assure all those who have viewed that never again will they have such things. I mean, even if we have such that has been in place, as we are addressing it, within the next few months, they will see that we will not have that type of situation at all.
Some of the schools in Yewa axis presently enjoying the state government intervention projects were visited, as well as those that will be included in the next batch to be attended to. Elizabeth Esson, OGTV News.
Ogun State government says it has increased the payment of monthly allocations from 17 million naira to 39 million naira, as well as tighten security around schools so as to enhance its smooth running and tackle security challenges. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, who dropped this hint during the 56th Founders' Day anniversary of Remo Divisional High School, submitted that the development is to ensure that there was no hindrance for any student willing to go to school. Professor Arigbabu, while explaining that the ministry, due to the directive of the governor, has been working with principals to ensure that adequate security is provided in schools, added that government would not wait until there is security crisis before taking action.
The administration, because of its belief in free education, so as to give access to all students, irrespective of your background, irrespective of their socio-economic background. The free education policy requires taking facilities available. And that was what led to the provision of running costs to heads of school. Principals and schools, at least after so many years, can now say that we have running costs we need to do. And I can tell you today, just on Friday, His Excellency approved the increase in the running cost, which moved from 17 million to 39 million. That is what we
In another development, the Commissioner, while appreciating the level of preparedness by Remo Secondary School to hold Ionia Games 2021, said that the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration has approved 5.5 million naira to support the school in ensuring a successful hosting. Professor Arigbabu, who said this during a monitoring exercise to Remo High School and School for Children with Special Needs, Shagamu, posited that the present administration is optimistic about caring for children living with disabilities. As the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic bites harder, the Ogun State government has begun the enforcement of use of face masks by both civil and public servants at the state secretariat in Abeokuta. It was not business as usual, as those who were not with nose masks were apprehended. Bomi Adegun was at the governor's office, Okemoson, Abeokuta, to capture the moment and report that those apprehended were made to carry out hours of community service. His report.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in its latest update recorded 521 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 152,074. Out of this latest figure, Ogun State has 52. And to avoid this daily count increasing, Ogun State government has embarked on enforcement of use of nose mask, starting with civil and public servants. Before 7 in the morning, the special COVID-19 task force was on guard to ensure everyone is protected, but as usual, many did not use nose mask. Some used it halfway, while some were even confrontational with the task force. Head of service in Ogun State, Elijah Selma Ototu, was also on the ground.
We are trying to enforce the compliance to COVID-19 because we realize that most of the people are not using the face masks and they are not compliant. And we intend to reduce this pandemic in our states. We don't want our people to die, and we want to encourage them that it's safer if they put on the face mask. And we say charity begins at home. That's why we are starting from the public service, so that we ensure that all our civil servants are safe and we are COVID compliant.
Apart from the use of nose mask, cars were not allowed to have more than 2 people at the back and 1 in the front. But unfortunately, as many of them passed the task force, they removed the nose mask. For those apprehended, a mobile court was stationed to prosecute them and sentenced to 2 hours community service. As the enforcement was ongoing, a lady was making a brisk business selling nose masks. The task force will be visiting markets, schools, and every other place in Abeokuta to ensure all COVID-19 protocols have been observed. It is now an offense in Ogun State to walk or walk within its corridors without using a nose mask. Bomi Adegun, OGTV News.
Towards sustaining mutual relationship between their institutions, the management of the Ogun State Television has visited the State Hospital, Ijayi, Abeokuta. The team was led by the General Manager, Mr. Festus Kehinde. Bumi Adegun reports.
Ogun State Hospital, located at Ijayi in Abeokuta, is one of the oldest hospitals in the state that has been rendering humanitarian services to the people through quality health service. In order to foster synergy between them, the management team of the Ogun State Television, led by Mr. Festus Kehinde, visited the state hospital Ijayi Abeokuta to see what they can both enjoy from a new relationship.
We look at the state hospital and we believe we have not been able to have your own share of the publicity that you deserve. I know you might have been apprehensive of coming because of our rate, but we thought that OGTV should also be socially responsible. And to be socially responsible means we should be able to meet the need of this state hospital when it comes to publicity.
Apart from sustaining a relationship and moving it higher, the two organizations promised to assist each other in the area of needs.
Oftentimes, OGTV will require the service of some of these consultants to educate and enlighten our populace. I think the best treatment we can give to any disease is to prevent it. From a layman point of view, we believe prevention is better than cure. And how do you prevent? Through education, through enlightenment.
The medical director of Ogun State Hospital appreciated the initiative of the management of the Ogun State Television.
I can tell you the Ogun State government in the past 2 or 3 months have employed about 5 consultants for us. And that is really great. And I know the government is also in the process of employing middle cadre doctors that can work with the consultants. That one is ongoing. So I can assure you things are getting better and it will continue to get better. And we need to collaborate with an agency like yours for the people to really know that things have changed.
This is one of the many visits of the state television management to different organizations seeking further relationship, which will in turn reflect in the content of the station and also improve its internally generated revenue. Bumi Adegun, OGTV News.
In order to reduce the incidence of automobile road crashes to the barest minimum, improve driving and act of maintenance culture for drivers, the management of Ogun State Television is taking no chance and has therefore organized a 2-day workshop for its drivers. Declaring the workshop open, the General Manager of the Ogun State Television, Mr. Festus Kehinde, stressed the need for participants to be conscious while driving. The workshop is in conjunction with Lizzie Oyinlola Consult. Olajumoke Oladipupo has the details.
In any corporate organization, the drivers have a vital role in the overall goal. This is because this set of workers handle an aspect of the value chain that involves protection of lives, while at the same time ensure proper maintenance of operational vehicles. Against the backdrop, the management of Ogun State Television has taken the bull by the horns to give its drivers the basic rudiment of avoiding road crashes while on duty.
But because of the crucial importance of the drivers to our organization, we need to keep reminding them to know the basic, however big it might be. Your driver, apart from God, your driver holds the key to your life on the road. So on behalf of the 3 management, I want to declare this refresher training open to the glory of God and to the safety of the road.
The managing consultant, Lizzie Oyinlola Consult, Mr. Rotimi Akinyele, listed areas to be touched during the workshop and its impact on participants.
The need to reduce the incidence of automobile road crashes to the barest minimum and to improve the driving culture and act of maintenance culture for our drivers, also taking care of security consciousness and defensive driving has become a fatal issue all over the world.
To the participant, this could not have come at a better time.
I would commend commend this initiative. You know, the command, the FRSC Ogun State Command, has observed that crashes are on the rise in Ogun State, alarmingly. So we welcome this development to train these drivers.
We drivers, we are alive to all staff, because you know that we always travel day and night. So I will need this type of workshop and to enlighten us what to do.
The two-day workshop will feature lectures, group discussions, and practical demonstrations.
And before we end the news at noon, peace is at our fingertips if we allow it to be. You can now watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And that was the news at noon. Many thanks for watching. Bye.